Can we please stop harassing the Asian communities, and I do mean communities, over COVID-19, please? I really wanted to do some fun videos other than the book reviews. I was really hoping the video games don't cause violence was going to be the heaviest thing I was going to do for a while. Something fun. Talk about anime. Do a scripture study type thing on the Book of Mormon. Go into detail on the themes of books that may be required for school, K through 12. Show off my D&D and Warhammer stuff. Speaking of which, maybe encouraging people with some how-to videos on what to know about the different classes and other stuff when it comes to Pathfinder, Warhammer, or D&D. Stuff that was going to be by and large harmless, entertaining, and potentially something that can boost my view count a little bit more. But nope, this happened. Long story short, a live meat market in Wuhan, China became ground zero for the whole corona novel or COVID-19 virus phenomena. Due to a combination of arrogance and incompetence, the local government thought they could hide it so they can keep looking good until it got out of hand and China had to react. But by the time they got their butts in gear, it had spread around the world like a wildfire. I started working on this video around the 20th of April, and at that time there were 2.4 million cases around the world. 1.6 million of them were active. 40,000 of those were in critical condition. And while there is plenty of reason to celebrate the over 639,000 people that have recovered worldwide, there is plenty of reason to mourn the 166,000 that have died. However, because people as a general rule didn't take this as seriously as they should have, what should have been every nation asking its citizens to voluntarily stay in their homes as much as they can, not go out much unless they need to, not be in groups bigger than 10, and waiting for this whole thing to blow over in 2 to 3 weeks. It's now been a month with the potential of this now mandatory shelter in place. Probably going to be another month, if not 2 more, until this blows over. With places like movie theaters, bars, gaming stores, and all manner of things closed down to encourage this. Which means a lot of us aren't getting a lot of social interaction, and more charitably, a lot of us have lost jobs or potential ability to go seeking for work. This is all understandably frustrating. No one is denying that fact. However, there is a group of individuals around the world who I am hoping is a small percentage of the population, but a horrendously deranged and violently dangerous population nonetheless, that is venting said frustration out on the Asian communities. In these people's minds, because the disease started in China, all Chinese people are at fault. And because these are the same kind of people that'll go, oh, they all look the same, all Asians are at fault by default. And if they're not attacking people of the Asian communities because they feel they're responsible for it, then it's because they believe that by being Asian, they're already infected with it and they're a walking typhoid mirror of this modern day and age. I shouldn't have to describe how asinine all of this is, how sickeningly disgusting this viewpoint is. But I have literally changed diapers with less crap in them than this mindset. Part of this has been an increased number of people being verbally assaulted with racial slurs and other epithets that I dare not repeat. Other people, young and old, have been denied entry into places because they're Asian. Therefore, they have the virus. If it was just this, people would either ignore it or have social media and the news and a few lawyers shame them into growing up. People have been beaten. People have been spat upon. Oh, for crying out loud, there was an old married couple that got stabbed. Had this disease started in what was once Czechoslovakia, those 2 people could have been my grandma. just from basic human decency and simple logic. This rips my heart in half. This makes my head feel like someone's pounded it with a jackhammer. And this is with someone who's not directly harmed from this. As far as I know, I got like 8 different ethnic groups in me. English, Scot, German, Czech, Dutch, Yugoslavian Jew. Maybe a couple others here and there, but they're all pretty much white to whiter white. But I have friends that are Asian. For crying out loud, I have family members that are. I have Filipino cousins. I have other cousins that married Asian spouses that are lovely human beings. My cousins are awesome. My aunt is the sweetest lady out there. And now I have to worry, are they going to have to put up with this crap? Are they going to need to carry a can of mace with them just so some whack job doesn't harass them? In the United States alone, gun sales have gone on the rise amongst Asian buyers simply because they're scared to death. They're scared to death that someone's going to come after them or their families simply because how they look. It's like the worst parts of human history are coming back in fashion. I was a high schooler when 9/11 hit, and I remember the Islamophobia that cropped up because of that in 2 Middle Eastern wars. I was but a baby during the 80s when the rampant homophobia was left and right because of the AIDS crisis. But I remember reading and learning about it. And I remember learning throughout my K through 12 years about Martin Luther King and all the social rights movements that started up because they were inspired by his and all the garbage they had to go through in the 60s. I also remember the internment camps for the Japanese Americans in the 40s, simply because America was at war with the country they no longer wanted to be a part of. And I remember learning about all the crap the Chinese Americans had to go through between the California Gold Rush and the 1920s. Yet, this is the year 2020, and we're still having to deal with it. We're still having to deal with black communities finding nooses hanging in their neighborhood, an unsubtle way to remind them that people of their skin tone were lynched left and right for the fun of it, and there are people who would really love a chance to do so again. In the year 2020, we still have homes of people of Jewish descent and heritage and faith that are being vandalized with graffiti, with Nazi symbols and words saying they should have been gassed. And in the year 2020, we will continue to bully each other for the stupidest of things. I seriously wish we could be better. I don't think God put us down on here for this. I think He expects better from us. And on the evolutionary standpoint, if we want to survive and thrive as a species, we have to change, or we're going to be up for a very rude awakening very soon.